Hello friends, in my previous video I shared my experience of chanting Om 10,000 times in one sitting. It took 8 hours and 20 minutes non-stop at a steady pace of 1 Om every 3 seconds. The experience was powerful. It was intense, it was deeply transforming. But today I want to share something that went even deeper, something that lasted longer, something that changed the way I understand the science of sound and the human mind. For the last 21 days, I chanted Om for 1 hour a day, every single day without missing a session. And it was extraordinary. Let me tell you something interesting. Just because something is intense doesn't always mean it is more effective. Think about watering a plant. If you pour 10 liters of water all at once, the soil cannot absorb it. Most of it overflows and is wasted. But if you give plant just the right amount of water every day, the roots drink it fully. The soil stays nourished and the plant thrives. That's exactly what I discovered with Om chanting. That one mega session of 10,000 chants was like flooding the plant, intense, overwhelming, and for a short time transformative. But 1 hour a day for 21 days was like giving the roots a steady daily dose of life energy, and the effects began to integrate into my body, my mind, and my daily awareness. So, before I tell you what I personally experienced, let's break down what Om actually does to your brain and body. Because this is not just spiritual poetry, there is hard science behind it. When you chant Om, you are creating a sound that vibrates through your entire vocal tract. It has three parts: A, which resonates your lower body; U, it vibrates through the throat and chest cavity; and M, which creates a deep humming that stimulates the skull, sinuses, and importantly, the vagus nerve. The vagus nerve is like a superhighway between your brain and your body. When it's stimulated, it activates your parasympathetic nervous system, the rest and digest mode. That means your heart rate slows down, your blood pressure drops, your breathing deepens, and your brain shifts into alpha and theta states, the exact same brainwave patterns seen in deep meditation. Neuroscience studies show that just a few minutes of chanting can reduce cortisol levels and increase serotonin and dopamine. And here is the key: the brain and nervous system respond best to consistency. It's called neuroplasticity, your brain's ability to rewire itself based on repeated experiences. One huge event can make a temporary shift, but if you want to rewire the default setting of your mind, you need regular, repeated inputs. When I did 10,000 ohm marathon, my mind entered a blissful, almost trance-like state. But within a few days, my usual mental patterns returned. But with 1 hour a day for 21 days, the change didn't just stay during chanting, it started seeping into my normal life. I was calmer in conversations, more focused while working, more patient in small daily frustrations. It was not just a meditation session anymore, it became a way of being. Okay, let me take you inside what actually happened during these 21 days. The first few days felt like tuning an old radio. There was static, random thoughts, restlessness, an urge to check the clock. But even here, something subtle happened. The moment I finished chanting, there was a deep stillness in my chest, like I had just returned from a long journey inside. By the end of the first week, I noticed my breathing had slowed down, not just while chanting, but all the time. Psychology tells us that slower breathing sends a signal to the brain: you are safe. This created a feedback loop. The more I chanted, the calmer I became. The calmer I became, the deeper the chanting went. This was the golden phase. The vibration began to feel like it was not just in my throat or head, it was in every cell. I could feel my heartbeat syncing with the chant. Interestingly, there is a phenomena in neuroscience called entrainment, where rhythmic sounds cause biological rhythms like heartbeat and brain waves to synchronize. This is why, after a while, I felt like my mind and body were in one single harmonious flow. Friends, something extraordinary happened in the final week. I began to notice awareness during daily activities, while walking, eating, even talking. It was as if the vibration of had installed a background hum of mindfulness. I was not trying to be aware, I just was. This is exactly what ancient yogic texts talk about, where meditation is no longer something you do, it is something you are. From a biological point of view, daily chanting could be doing several measurable things. It can strengthen your vagal tone, making you more resilient to stress. It can also help balance your hormones, reducing cortisol, increasing melatonin for better sleep, and serotonin for a better mood. It synchronizes your heart and breath, improving cardiovascular health. It enhances oxygenation because the long exhalation in chanting improves oxygen exchange in the lungs. Not just this, it boosts your immunity since lowering chronic stress supports immune function. Friends, this is not just woo woo. These effects are well documented in psychophysiology studies. And one of the most interesting psychological effects I noticed was how chanting reduced overthinking. You see, your mind has a default mode network, DMN, a set of brain regions active when you are daydreaming, worrying, or thinking about yourself. This overactivity in DMN is linked to anxiety and depression. Chanting Om seems to quiet the DMN by giving the mind a rhythmic, single pointed focus. It's like gently telling your brain, shh, rest now. Think of it like learning to play a musical instrument. If you pick up a guitar and play for 8 hours straight in one day, you might feel a burst of progress, but your fingers will be sore, your mind will be tired, and by the end of the day, much of what you learned will fade. But if you play for an hour every day, something magical happens. Your muscle memory builds, your brain starts wiring new connections, and your hands remember the chords without thinking. That's what daily did for my mind. It was not just about producing a sound, it was about training my whole system to live in that vibration until it became second nature. And just like a musician who starts hearing music even in silence, I started feeling the hum of even when I was not chanting. Friends, there is a well-known concept in habit formation. It takes about 21 days to establish a new neural pathway. By the end of 3 weeks, chanting was no longer something I had to schedule. It became as natural as breathing. And when a practice reaches that point, it begins to reshape not just your mind but your identity. Let me tell you that even after I completed 21 days, something beautiful happened. The vibration stayed with me. While walking in a crowded market, I could still feel a hum in my chest. While facing a stressful situation, my breath naturally slowed, as if my body remembered the chant without me even trying. So, if you are inspired to try, here is a simple framework. Set aside a fixed time, early morning or before bed works best. Sit comfortably, spine straight, shoulders relaxed, and chant slowly. Let each last about 6 seconds. 2 seconds for a, 2 seconds for oo, and 2 seconds for mm. Feel the vibration. Focus on the body sensation, not just the sound. Stay consistent. Even 20 to 30 minutes daily can be powerful if done with full attention. Looking back, I now understand the power of is not just in its sound but in its rhythm and repetition. A single great flood may look spectacular, but steady, nourishing rain transforms the land. That's why 1 hour a day for 21 days became not just a spiritual practice but a biological reprogramming, a retuning of my nervous system to a calmer, cleaner, and more aware frequency. And maybe the real magic of Om is not in the chant itself but in the silence it leaves behind. Thank you for watching.